I'm now at Udaipur at 4:45. Okay, hello. Good morning. I've just make a quick prayer at the temple this morning. So before going to the City Palace Museum, just to pray for general safety. Yep, here I am on my way to the museum. The museum is right behind me, so I'm going in. The museum opens at 9:30. So try to go there as early as possible. I'm probably the first visitor to go into the palace today. Oh. So that's the Tripoli Three Arch Gate. That's the entrance. I think probably over there. That's the main entrance. Got you. Wow, this weaponry store is probably the first place that you will see when you enter the palace. The display of the weapon. Wow, I'm impressed, man. Could easily rival with those museums in Europe. Oh, look at that. And look at the rifles. So beautifully displayed. The display here shows the lineage of the world's longest serving dynasty. How many of them? 77. And it's still counting. So this is a series of building. Once I entered from the main entrance. You can get the shadow of the stained glass at this juncture. I think shadows is just hit and miss depending on the time of the day that you come. This is where the coronation of the king takes place. Oh, this overlook into the lake. Wow. even to this side of the lake. Stunning. Oh, this opens into a courtyard. Love the Indian column. They are so different from the Roman and Greek columns that I've seen so far elsewhere. So this is where the ordinary people stay. Another stunning view, the lake. And that's the view into the city, Udaipur city. The signages are pretty clear as to where to go next. Like this. I think that's one thing I like about this place. Very clear signages. Hello, hi. So it opened up to more paintings. I like those fishes. Wow. This is a mirror house or mirror room. Look at all the mirrors. Even up there. Although I can't see it myself personally, I have to watch it over the screen. Yeah, because there is a barricade over here. No one is supposed to enter. Except for my hand. Very quaint, small little paintings in this room. So what you are going into the next room is where flash photography isn't permitted. That's to protect the paintings of the wall. Even the dome is painted. Into the next room. This looks like a Chinatown to me. Oh, here's the clearer view of the Lake Palace. The Lake Palace is now no longer a forbidden area, so it is now run as a hotel. Yeah, whoever who has got the money to splurge, always welcome to check in and live like a Maharaja. Wow, it look like a look at the checker floor. These are the China porcelain being plastered on the wall. So it looks into the city. And a big park below. Is she digging the nose? Like this? Well, okay. So that's the lake palace in the middle of the Pichola Lake. Okay, I think given the fact that I'm not able to go on the island palace, so this is the closest that I could get on picture. Okay, I now have a quick 5-second moment of this courtyard to myself. So I better take a quick video. Right, okay, time to leave. I like this place, it's very well signage. So you don't have to go around looking for exits, looking for directions. And it's very well ventilated. Look at that. There's even a ventilation fan. Everything's so well thought of. There's another stained glass room. And guess what material is this door made of? I didn't even know it. I thought it's marble, but it is ivory. Ooh, such a opulence. Wow, it's a swinging chair. What is it swinging against? This view? Let's see what's the view that the person swing against. Nope, it just faced into this courtyard. If I were to build a swing, I will swing it towards the island palace. Yeah, I thought that's a better place for me to swing, or maybe because they just want to swing under the shade. Yeah. Okay, let me just take a selfie at this stained glass room. Just look at the wall and how it has been carved intricately. I like this pastel blue color. It really stands the test of time. Very elegant. Do I look like an elegant person in an elegant room? Okay. Over to a series of corridor. Be careful of head. See. So that's the front gate that I came in from. If I were the king, I would have done up this corridor with stained glass, so that the shadow is stained, is a colorful one. Yeah, rather than this quite plain. Here's another view of the garden outside the palace. It really opens up to the entire Udaipur city. That's his bed. Oh, it's a little bit humble than I thought. Let me just zoom in. Do you see the bed over here? I thought it's more lavish bed, but oh, okay. It's almost like the bed that I slept on last night. Oh, but fantastic view. Yeah. Simple bed, fantastic view. That's what you call a room with a view. Guess what's that? That's the king toilet with armrest. Again, wow, nice view. I will always feel very happy looking at this every day. I've been to the big palaces in Europe and China. I think one thing common is that their living quarter is very small, a little bit underwhelming, if I can say. Yeah, I mean, look at that, it is so plain. I think that's even the case for the China Museum. If you go to Beijing Forbidden City, look at the bed. The bed is just minuscule as compared to the building itself. I guess probably ancient king doesn't place too much emphasis on bed. Yeah, I think they don't spend a lot of time on bed. This was painting has a very rich color. Yeah, just like the Indian cuisine. A lot of effort is spent on ventilating this place. That's what I like about this castle. Don't forget below the tiles. You're going to see a lot of peacocks carving in this courtyard. Oh, I'm sorry. Just... Good grief, so many tourists here. I think it's a good decision to come first thing in the morning. Yeah, if not, you will have to queue up and have the pictures taken. Here's the way to the Queen's Palace. Even the walls are marble. And so it opened up to this very small courtyard. That's the Queen's bed. Oh dear. That's very humble. And this is occupied as late as 1973. Wow. Still pretty recent. So that's her apartment. That's another layout of the room.
Yeah, yes, worship room.
Yes. Thank you. So in many male-dominated palaces, there's a special palaces for women. So this is a view of the women's palace. Yeah, which is a place to keep the king's concubine. So here are the pots and pans for the women in the households. And this is the temple meant for the ladies in there. So they will come here to pray. Generally speaking, the ceiling in this woman's palace is not tall. It's even, yeah, it's short. Yeah, look at that. Even have problem kind of trying to walk through. And these are the closets. So this is what they usually do. Combing their hair and make sure that they are pretty. Oh, this looks like the chess that we played. I think that's the card. Yeah, that's the chess. Right, so this is their probably armor. Xena armor. Wow. Oh, this is mirrors. Oh, fuck. Oh, I bumped into the doorway. Oh, this is mirrors. I really like the backdrop of these mirrors. Alright, it opens up to a courtyard. So that's the layout, a plan of Udaipur. So where we are now is here, and that's the lake that we always associate Udaipur with, Pichola. So there's a further, I think there are a couple of lakes over here. So these are the couple of lakes, this being the bigger one, Fateh Sagar. Yeah, okay, all these lakes. Yep. So all these lakes are built artificially, including Pichola. Yeah, it's made by damming certain parts of the river, creating a water body. So I'm entering into sculpture gallery. So as what it says, this gallery is full of sculptures. Oh, it looks like a Buddha. This stone sculpture ranges all the way from 7th century. Oh, look at the throng of tourists behind me. A transistor radio opens up this gallery of musical instruments. You can see the piano and the drums. I forgot what exactly it is. It's not zither, but this is violin. This is zither. Different kind of zithers, which Okay, I'm not expert in this one. So I'm surrounded by musical instruments. This City Palace Museum, it is a pretty comprehensive museum. Now I'm entering into a pictorial depiction of this palace. So this is the current royal family with the king here and the princess. The Mewa Regala, textile and costume gallery. Wow, I've spent close to 2.5 hours in this palace. So now it's almost time for me to leave, as I'm heading to the exit. What's this again? Just let me look at some signage first. So this is a pavilion for marriage. So at the center of which there's the fire. So this is where the marriage is held. There's a very handsome horse. I believe these are the carriages. Oh, look at that. It actually has a picture of... So this thing is mounted on an elephant. Okay, so that's the elephant sit mount. That's the entourage of the royal family. There's another royal member. The entourage complete with a band. Yeah. The son of the sun. So I'm leaving this city palace now. Through this gate, and look at that. The ceiling. There's a cafeteria. Which way to go out? That's the garden. So what we have done is that we have gone through that section now here. Do you see the sun emblem here? So the dynasty claims to be the descendant from the sun, of the sun. Time to leave this place through the gate.